cycling sense, when you climb up a hill, you are doing effort, and whenever you are at the top, it will be downhill, so it will be easy after that. It's actually, the title means be positive in life.
To go for cycling tips or
no? No, not really. And here is the total distance. So the total distance measured by the GPS tracker is 19,764.2.
Point we were on was 4,632 meters.
It actually was cause for quite some discussion before we left, because
I was at a bit of a crossroads when Anton told me he had this idea to cycle to China. So it was
Welcome to the program. Belgians have a very special passion for cycling, and they love cycling. Cycling is next to their religion, and it is in their blood. Today we have with us three very, very talented cyclists with us who traveled up to China, covering almost 21 countries. And we will have their experience shared with our viewers. And can you please introduce yourselves, first of all, who you are and what are your names, what you do, and also about your Silk Route Cyclers group, that how it was formed, and what was the inspiration behind that.
Yes, maybe I'll start.
Yeah.
I'm Anton. I'm 30 years old right now, and I met Stef when we were at, I think, 20 years old, something like this, in the Boy Scouts. And Yuri, we met about a year before we started our cycling trip.
And
I'm Yuri, also 30 years old, just like Anton. We also had a fourth cycler with us, Anton's brother, but he passed away shortly after the trip, unfortunately. But the three of them, Anton and Ollie, obviously knew each other from way back when, and Stef from the Boy Scouts, but I only got to know them about a year before the trip. So a couple of months into knowing them, the idea got sprouted, and then I just latched onto it. And maybe Stef's the one that can explain how everything came to be, as he did in the book.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm Stef. I'm not 30 years old, like Anton and Yuri, but I'm 29 and almost 30.
Congratulations, almost.
I think Anton I know from around 20 years old, and we did a lot of holidays together, and traveled for some short periods before, and we want to do a longer trip. And then one evening when we were in a bar, we were sitting there with friends, we were discussing about what we would do. And on a random night out, the idea started to cycle from Belgium to China, just because actually cycling appeared to be the most efficient, in a cost-effective way then to travel with the least amount of hassle and still a correct amount of speed, let's say. And then 1 year after, we decided to leave. And during this year, Anton came up with Yuri and he said, "Hey, this guy, I met him at this random place," and he introduced Yuri to me, and that's actually how I know Yuri. So it's only during preparing for the trip that I got to know him. And Anton's brother, I know a bit longer than Anton himself. And yeah, that's about in short how it all started for me.
Okay. And when I saw your book and your accounts of your cycling trip, all of you were working at that time. Yeah, it describes it like you were working and you left your jobs when you started your cycling trip.
Yeah, actually, so we already had discussed that we would go on we wanted to go on a bigger trip, but we still had jobs, as you say, Sierra. And then at some point, I was at my first job. I think I was working there for like 3 months or something, but I wasn't very motivated back then. And I just came from school, and I was like, yeah, I don't really know if this is for me. And then at some point, my boss sat together with me, and he said, like, yeah, we're gonna have to let you go. So then I called Steph, and I said, okay, Steph, it's time to make this plan a reality. Let's start cycling tomorrow. And Steph said, no, tomorrow is a little too soon. You need money, you need a bicycle, you need bags, you need a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
So he said, find yourself a new job, and we'll go in like 6 months or something. So I said, okay. And then we put a date on it. I think it was July 1st that we said, Steph.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I know that we put a lot of details about this in the book. So if you want to know it all, it's readable. This is one of the things that we explain in detail, because it actually was cause for quite some discussion before we left. Because we're with 4 people, and to discuss on a date to all quit our jobs together was not quite easy. And it changed a couple of times, but in the end, we put a date on the 2nd of July. Mostly because of Yuri wanted some extra time, I think, but I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah.
How
For
it
me,
came you, Yuri?
I was at a bit of a crossroads when Anton told me he had this idea to cycle to China. So it was already when, you know, his other job was finished, and then that they made the plan. Okay, we're gonna actually prepare for this thing. So that's when I met him, or well, I'd met him before, but when he told me about the idea. And it was at a point where I had already signed the contract to start a job in you know the thing that I studied for, but I wasn't ready for it at all. So I thought, there's a slight chance that I could just tell them that maybe it's not the right idea to start this job. And so I canceled the contract, extended my work at the other job that I had, and then saved up some money for it, because I didn't have enough to go yet. So that's when July started to be a more feasible date.
Okay. And you were cycling before also, like other Belgians, they are like into cycling very much. So you were cyclists before as well. You used to go for cycling trips or no?
No, not really.
No, I know that a lot of Belgians they like cycling, and they do it on a race bike with like the suits and in group, and every Sunday they go, and then afterwards they have a beer. But for us, it really wasn't the case. The cycling was really a way of transportation and not a sport or anything. So I think before the trip, the most cycling we did was to work and back, which was maybe 30 minutes every day. And that was about it. I think we even before we actually started, the day we started, I think we only went once or twice all together. So I think I have a picture of that still somewhere. The one time that we all were together with the bicycles, it was just maybe 10 or 15 minutes that we went cycling around our hometown.
So you became real cyclist while you started this trip, when you started this adventure. So real affair with cycling started then. And you...
We had to... Oh, sorry. Yeah, what you say is correct. We had to learn a lot of things about it. For example, we had a lot of typical cycling-related muscle pain and issues and bicycle problems. So these kind of things we didn't know about. So we had to learn them while we were gone because we were not
I
cyclists.
struggled a lot. I struggled a lot in the beginning. I had
So
major knee pains.
Your adventure was like a real learning trip as well. And you must be having a lot of information for the people who want to become real cyclists and want to have adventures on bicycles. So, how many kilometers in all you did in your round the trip?
Well, we don't know exactly, but Steph, I think you can answer this in a bit.
Yeah, we had to reset our how do you say the device that measures the speed in kilometers. But I guess it's about 70,000 in total that we cycled, plus some extra 1,500 for parts where we took the train or the bus or something. For example, in the desert in China to win some time. So 17,000 on the bike, almost.
Oh, long distance. Yeah. So
and maybe it's a good time to bring up the map that we did, because it has the total distance that we had a GPS device that tracked us, and it also has the total distance. But where did I put it?
I posted it in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah. Okay, I have it here. Okay, screen share this one. So this is the route that we took, starting from Belgium.
The line Shanghai. In blue, yeah.
In blue, yeah.
Okay.
And then here are the elevation meters that we did, and here is the total distance. So the total distance measured by the GPS tracker is 19,764.2.
But of course, there were some moments where we had to take a bus or a ferry or
and sometimes we also split up. If some people wanted to, stay and enjoy some water, and the others wanted a physical challenge, then we just split up. And I think Steph is the one who did the most distance on a bicycle. I did the least because I had a lot of knee injuries. I had to take the bus a couple of days ahead to recover. So it's difficult to say how much we did individually, but I think 17,000 is about a good.
And particularly going from a flat land like Belgium, which is very flat, and you had been to places which have like very high elevations as well. So
we actually thought that for a long time before we left, we thought that a lot of the road would be flat because Belgium is such a flat land.
A lot of Belgians think that the Earth is flat, and we are one of those people. So we miscalculated and we thought, Europe will be quite easy. There is no mountains or something until Czech Republic. But we soon found out that the Earth is not flat, and this also caused quite some delay in, not really our planning, but most on the knees and the joints, because cycling uphill with a large amount of bags and kilos on the bike is quite stressing on the body. So it's something we
also
didn't keep in mind.
We actually, to give you an idea, in the planning, so we had a whole planning that we had, I think it was 80 pages or something. And we thought that the first week we would be in Prague, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, but like 1,500 kilometers, something like this.
A little bit less, I think,
A little bit less. But in the end, it took us 1 month to get there because of the hills. Also, we started out with about 35 kilograms of weight on our bags.
No, way too much.
We had 2 bags in the front, 2 bags in the back, and then 1 big bag on top of the rear 2 bags. So the first days it was really heavy. I think it was the first or the second day that we stopped at a post office to send home a big barb of wire, not really wire, but like rope.
Rope,
We thought would be useful, but actually was really useless.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's also worth saying is the map we saw before. It also has, maybe we can bring it up again. It also has the elevation meters. The total elevation, I think it was 85,000 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And also the highest point we were on, which was close to the Himalayas. It wasn't really the Himalayas, but like I don't know how to say it in English.
The outskirts of
Outskirts. Thank you, Steph. And there you can also see that the highest point we were on was 4,632 meters.
And where was that?
The Pamir.
Pamir Highway. So on the blue line, you see some white, which is the Himalaya. And there's one part that is a little bit white that we went through. And I think the highest point would be somewhere there. So it's close to China, but I think we saw the border there even. But
yeah, we touched the border when we went into, but yeah, it's for maybe a later session. But there we went from Tajikistan to Kyrgyzstan. And that's where we touched the border, but then we went around to enter at a different border.
Yeah, Pamir is very, important. It has, it is conjunction of 3-4 countries like Afghanistan, Pakistan, China, and Tajikistan. So, that is, and they also have a natural park there, right?
Yeah.
We cycled through the natural the reserve.
Mm-hmm.
We did it's a desert plateau, so we climbed up to it. Maybe you can see it in so here we climbed up to it, and then we had a couple of climbs and a couple of descents, but in general you're just at a very high plateau for a while. But we'll get back to it when that's the time.
You pass through Europe, Central Asia, and then into China. And one more thing that this was quite an uphill task. You were like constantly climbing. Why did you title your book "Down the Road"?
It's all downhill from here. Is the title of the book. Yeah, it's actually, there's a lot of meanings to it. When you say something, when you say it's all downhill from here, you usually mean it's only gonna get worse. But in the cycling sense, when you climb up a hill, you are doing effort. And whenever you are at the top, it will be downhill. So it will be easy after that. So it's kind of, you can take it different ways. But either way, whenever you put effort into going up the hill, the downhill will come afterwards. So it's actually the title means be positive in life. If I can like summarize that.
Very interesting.
I think the if someone says it, you can take it both ways. You can see it in the positive and a negative way. So it depends on the reader, how he wants to read it. And I think that's nice because there is both positive and negative experiences in the book. You can actually see it both ways. But for us, indeed, like Anton says, we used it for the positive way. Also, given the fact that one of us 4 passed away, Olivier passed away in 2017, which is also, of course, very touching. I forgot the words for a happening or event, but to also see this kind of things in a positive way, whatever comes life throws at you, you should always be thinking a bit like, it's only going to get better now on. The worst is behind us. That's what's in the title.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining, and we will join you on the next episode. Bye till the next episode.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, Sarah.
Thank you. Bye bye. Ciao, Anton, Yuri.